Hi guys, how you doing? Welcome back to the Litefinance Global YouTube channel. The last quarter of the 2023 is here and we are going to check what is going on with the US dollar approaching the Q4. Well, very strong move when it comes to the dollar bourse, and the question is if we are going to stay as it is. This is the first part where we are going to discuss the euro dollar, pound dollar and the dollar yen. I strongly encourage you to watch the second part as well, where we are going to discuss the dollar with the commodity currencies. So without further ado, let's jump straight into the video. Okay, let's start with weekly euro-dollar chart. Well, very interesting thing is going on here. We've seen the rejection based on 200 weekly moving average, but it's not only the moving average, it's also the consolidation we've seen before, the earlier break to the downside somewhere at the end of the 2021 and the beginning of 2022. 50% of that, maybe a little bit higher, that was the trigger as well for the sellers. And as you can see, taking into the consideration last 10 weeks, we are going only lower. One of the reasons is of course the course of the Fed when it comes to the interest rates, right? The second thing is of course the European problems, EU problems when it comes to the economy, especially when we are going to take into the consideration the few numbers like PMIs. Now, what we might expect in the Q4 is trying to sell a little bit of the rally. That's the base case scenario. The thing here is very important. We broke the latest strength here. From here we've seen the market made higher high compared to what we've seen to the left side, but as of now we broke the swing low to the downside and we are moving even lower. So the next line of the defense when it comes to the buyers is going to be somewhere here, and if it's a weekly, it has to be somewhere close to the blue, and we are talking about the levels close to 105, and that's the significant and psychological level. But going forward, we've seen the level being tested quite a few times, right? As we can see here. If we are going to see break lower, the next target is somewhere close to 103, but this particular one, swing high, being already tested, as you can see here. So in my opinion, the last untested swing high has to be tested is somewhere close to the parity. All right, we are talking about the levels close to 101.50, and if we are going to take into the consideration 50% of that particular move, we are talking about the levels close, very close to the parity. So anything from here to the upside within the next few days, few weeks, that could be the selling opportunity targeting 101.50, and the parity, of course, the level close to 105 psychological level might want to work as a demand, and if we are going to see the price action confirming the higher levels, if you are a bull, that's where you may want to try your luck here around the 105 level. That's the euro dollar. Let's have a look what we have when it comes to the pound. Here is even worse. The thing with the rejection when it comes to the 200 weekly moving average is also related to the consolidation we've seen to the left. All right, strong rejection. We have plenty of weeks when the move is going to the downside. We broke through few very important levels, and looks like market may want to retest the swing low related to this particular level. In that case, we are talking about the levels close to the psychological 120. All right, and it's very, very important. So very similar situation to what we discussed with the euro dollar. Any attempt to go higher, it could be the 50% of that rally. In that case, we are talking about the eventual retest of 125, 126 based on this weekly chart as the rejection point, and trying to target at least 120. What was not tested, very similar to what we discussed with euro dollar, is the level well below 120, and in that case we are talking about the 116.50, 115. That could be the next target below 120. But if you are a bull, then you are going to try to use 120 as a bounce point, and in that case 125 is going to be your target. I would be very, very careful, because the data out of the UK is even worse than what we have seen when it comes to the EU. So looks like the Q4 is very positive when it comes to the dollar when we are talking about the European currencies. Finally, when it comes to this first part, when we are talking the majors, let's have a look what we have when it comes to the dollar yen. Very interesting situation, because what we've seen towards the end of the last year, it was the strong rejection based I would say not only, but basically it was based on the Bank of Japan intervention. So what we have right now is the retest of this higher high over here. And if you do remember, at the very beginning of the 2023, I did the top Forex top pick of 2023, and one of the top pick, it was the long dollar yen from the levels somewhere around 125, 122, and well, we are revisiting the highs. Now 170 is still the possible target, because market may want to say, okay, I'm going to check the Bank of Japan. So if we are going to take out this high, you want to see the pullback, and the pullback down towards 142, 140. So 50% of this particular move down is a key level here. So 142, 140, pullback, trying to go higher. You don't want to fade this move unless we are going to break and close below 140, 138. And if that's going to happen, the 125, 120 is going to be the bear target. So the bulls are very active here. The bears have to be very, very patient, waiting for their time. With that being said, strongly encourage you to do your own research before risking real money, and I strongly encourage you to watch the second part, where we are going to discuss the dollar with the commodity currencies. Thank you very much, take care, see you around, and goodbye.